Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue, and today I'm out here at Duelist Den, where I'm going to be shooting this beautiful 45 caliber Early Lancaster County style flintlock rifle. Now we'll take a better look at this, tell you who built it, what it's capable of, and we'll do some shooting. This rifle was built by Shawn Webster, and what Shawn is most famous for is being one of the finest porcupine quill embroiderers in the country. And his work is outstanding, and these are just some examples of it right here. It just doesn't get any better than Shawn's work. And I first met Shawn when I was doing an article for American Frontiersman on his quill work. And as we got to talking, I found out that he enjoyed making guns as a break from quill work. And then I got quite a surprise. As it turns out, my favorite smoothbore, which is a French fusil de chasse, was actually made by Shawn, which I didn't realize at the time until we got to talking about it. I described it to him, and he had me send him some pictures, and sure enough, he's the one who made this gun. And at that point, I knew, because I like this gun so much, that I really wanted him to make a rifle for me. I told Shawn I wanted a rifle in the Early Lancaster County style of Jacob Deckert, and we looked over some examples and rifles of colonial America, and Shawn got to work, and here's what he made. Well, this is a 45 caliber gun. It's built around a rice barrel. It's a swamped barrel. It's a B-weight profile, 38 inches, very well balanced, very handy. It's got an R.E. Davis Early Colonial lock, which is a really big, massive lock, but it's a great sparker. And I was looking for a lighter gun that would be good for target shooting. And that was before I broke my shoulder. As it turned out, a lighter gun is working out pretty well. I wanted a gun that had a little bit of decoration, carving and moldings, but not a lot. This was going to be a working man's gun. And it just turned out perfectly, as you can see from these pictures. I only had one opportunity to shoot this rifle before I broke my shoulder, and that was just to sight it in. But as you can see, it sighted in fairly well. So now let's see how it does now that I'm healed up. Okay, let's get her loaded up. Now I'm going to be loading using a steel range rod that has a muzzle protector on it. And that keeps the rod from wearing out the crown on the muzzle, which can happen if you shoot it a lot. Obviously, that's here at the range in the field. I would load with the wooden ramrod that comes with it, which is quite a tight fit in the stock. But since we're here at the range, I prefer to use this. I'm going to be loading with GoX 3F powder. I'm going to be patch lubing with pure lamb's tallow, and I'll be loading a 440 diameter ball. So I'm using 0.18 inches thick pillow ticking. I'm just going to rub it over my lamb's tallow to get a little grease on it. Now, the procedure is pretty simple. This is a horn powder measure. I'm going to fill it with 60 grains of 3F powder, which is a pretty good load for a 45. Not too heavy, but certainly not a light load. And we'll put that in. Now I'm going to take up my lubed patch material. I'm going to put it right over the muzzle. I'm going to put a ball on it. I'm going to take my short starter, and this has two legs on it. It's got the short leg and a long leg. What the short leg does is it seats the ball just below the depth of the muzzle. And that allows me to take my patch knife, which is an 18th century style folding knife, and just cut it right off. Then I can take the longer leg and just send it down. Now, I'm going to take my ramrod and we will just load it. And we'll just send it all the way down. There we go. Now, all I have to do now is prime the pan and it's ready to fire. And I'll prime it up on the firing line. If we were hunting, well, Renegade Roy and a band of Shawnee are attacking our happy homestead here in Blymeyers Hollow. I've only got one shot, so I'm going to try to take out Roy, and then I'll just have to take my chances with the rest of them. So off we go. Now I'm going to prime from the horn. A lot of people prime with 4F powder and a special priming horn. That was rarely done in the 18th century. I'm not saying it was never done, but it's pretty rare. It was much more common to prime from your main charge horn. And that's what I generally do. Sometimes if I'm target shooting, I'll use a little primer just to make things simple. But ordinarily, I would prime right from the same horn that of 3F that I use for the main charge. So we prime it, close the pan, and let's see if we can make Roy pay for attacking the homestead. Well, Shawn built it good. The Lancaster County rifle took old Roy right between the eyes. Well, that felt pretty good. This is actually my first time firing a rifle since breaking my shoulder. So, that didn't go too badly. But let's try another shot on Roy just to make sure I'm working right. We know the gun's working right. Let's see if I am. I kneecapped him. Not exactly my best shot ever. Well, we sorted out Evil Roy, but Steel Steve is still on the warpath. So let's see if we can sort him out with a .45 caliber ball. The distance, by the way, is 50 yards. Get him! Once again, not the best shot I ever made. Well, I'm not really that happy with how I'm shooting today. Luckily, the recoil is not hurting my shoulder. And this is a .45, it doesn't recoil much, all things considered. But I have to admit, my ability to hold steady on target is just not the same as it was before I was injured. So, gonna have to work on that. Nevertheless, let's see if I can hit the 8-inch steel gong target from 60 yards. All right, that's a little more like it. Well, I'm going to try to take out a 2-liter bottle from 50 yards, which might be overconfident for me, since this is the first time I've shot a rifle in 6 months, and the old wing is not quite what it used to be. But you don't know till you try. Got it! Well, the phrase "don't push your luck," obviously not part of my vocabulary. So, feeling a little cocky. Just shot that 2-liter bottle. How much harder can a 1-liter bottle be? Guess we'll find out. This is probably going to be my last shot of the day because I am starting to feel it in the shoulder a little bit. But even though I'm not shooting as well as I used to shoot, I'm still shooting. So let's go take out that 1 liter bottle, call it a day. Ha! Got him. Now let's sign off with the bad guy's view.